Good morning, everyone. Today is the Hilula, the Yortzeit of the Noam Elimelech, the holy Noam Elimelech Milezinsk. And the Noam Elimelech we spoke about yesterday, how he was born, and his tremendous influence on Chassidut. Noam Elimelech, together with his brother Reb Zusha, were from the prime Talmidim, the prime students of the Magid Mimizrich. As a matter of fact, it says that all of the students of the Magid, when they would hear the Divrei Torah of the Magid, it would be so exalted that they would faint, or they would have to run out of the room because it was so difficult to absorb everything. Besides Reb Zusha was always able to stay there. If you open up a Sefer HaTanya, Reb Zusha has one of the Haskamot over there, that he was considered one of the very, very important founders of Chassidut, together with his brother, the Noam Elimelech. Now, the difference that the Noam Elimelech was a little bit more known. The Reb Zusha made himself as a little bit of a parush, of a poor person. Many stories about him going around and going into galut, and as a matter of fact, he didn't spread Torah all around. He stayed by the Magid, and he's buried in Anipoli, where the Magid is buried as well. That's what they call him, Zusha Anipoli. There was one time a story that they were both together, and they wanted to see each other privately. So one of the students, Jews can't keep secrets, as we know, so one of the students, he went in a box to hear what's going on. And when he went outside of the room, he heard the following. He heard one of them, Reb Zusha, yelling out to his brother, Melech, my brother, come teach me, what does a sitting soul have to be forgiven from? Lying down right in front of him, asking him. That was the brothers. Between them, they would grow together. And the hashpa'ah of the Noam Elimelech is a tremendous hashpa'ah. As we said yesterday, his main message, one of the main messages, and probably the central one that had a big hashpa'ah on Chassidut, had a big influence on Chassidut, is the central command of the Tzaddik, and how much the Tzaddik could bring hashpa'ah and goodness into the world. And as a matter of fact, he said once on the following, it's written in the Torah, Vayishma Yitro, Kohen Midian, Kohen Yitro, the father-in-law of Moshe Rabbeinu, heard what happened to Israel, and he came to Bnei Israel. So says Rashi, Ma Shmua Shama Uba, what news did he hear and he came? So Rashi says, Milchemet Amalek V'tziat Mitzrayim, and Kriyat Yamsuf, he heard the splitting of the sea and Milchemet Amalek. So the obvious question is, once he heard that, so why did he have to come? So I understand he heard that it inspired. I understand those are two great things, Milchemet Amalek and Yetziat Mitzrayim. But why does he have to come? So the Noam Elimelech said the following. And he said this in response to somebody who asked him, he wants to know two things about Chassidim. Why is it so important to go to the tzaddik? Why can't they just sit in the room and learn by themselves? Question number one we have. And question number two is that why don't they meet from somebody that they don't know, even though these people are very kasher? Those are the two questions that we have. So the Noam Elimelech said on the first question, I will answer you that just like Yitro, Kohen Midian, didn't just listen to Kriyat Yamsuf and Milchemet Amalek. Once he heard it, he came, because he realized that it's very nice to listen to inspiration. But if you don't connect yourself to a tzaddik, if you don't connect yourself live, that doesn't mean far away, just listening through a video or something. You don't connect yourself live. Says the Noam Elimelech, the Yetzer Hara is going to be mamshich to fight against the person, and therefore a person has to travel to Tzaddikim, and therefore has to travel to the Moshe Rabbeinu in the generation, and therefore Yitro into the Moshe Rabbeinu in order to connect to him. And on your second question, why don't I meet from anybody who is just a regular person? If it's kosher, what's the problem? He's not on a higher level. I will tell you like this: just like a kohen has certain restrictions. He's not allowed to marry a divorced lady or a chalitza or a woman who went through the chalitza process, but a Yisrael is allowed. So you're going to ask, why is a Kohen not allowed to marry a Gusha Chalitza. And not only that, a Kohen is allowed to marry an Almana, a widow. But a Kohen Gadol is not allowed to marry a widow. So what's the difference? You see that there's levels of Kiddusha. And since the Kohen has a higher Kiddusha, certain things are restricted to him. And since the Kohen Gadol has even more Kiddusha, certain other things are also restricted to him. So he says, so if a person feels that they want to go to on a certain higher level of Kiddusha, so they don't want to eat a certain meat, they're also allowed. Because although everything is permitted, there are levels of Kiddusha. That's how Noam Elimelech answered him. So therefore, and this is really if one has ever an opportunity to read the Noam Elimelech, he will be struck by the amazing level of Kiddusha that he demands from each and every person, of himself and of each and every person. I said yesterday that the Baal Shem Tov was very adamant that people should fast and then they should go through Sigufim, and according to the student, the Mor of Hashemesh, the Noam Elimelech was not that way. He said people should refrain from certain things. Nevertheless, he himself did afflict himself very much on a personal level. And what he taught was that a person should strive to go to very, very high heights, to the point that what is famous among people is that the three influential Sfarim, there are many influential Sfarim, but three of the influential Sfarim that we know about in Chassidut, which is Likutei Moharan, the Tanya, and the Noam Elimelech. So apparently there are those who explain that the Noam Elimelech was written for the tzaddik, and the Tanya was written for the common people. We'll call them the Beinunim. And the Likutei Moharan was written for every single person in Klal Yisrael, even people who are struggling wherever they are. So that's the different gamut of the tzidkut of the Noam Elimelech and the Hilulah today. Yehi Ratzon, that his zichut should be making on us and all Klal Yisrael. Amen. Ken Yiratzon.